So, OnePlus just dropped its big flagship phone, but apparently they're not taking any breaks. The company is already teasing its next device, and today we're going to break down everything we know and all the rumors about the upcoming OnePlus 15R. I mean, seriously, talk about moving fast. The flagship OnePlus 15 just hit the global market, and before most of us have even had a chance to think about it, bam, they're already dropping hints about what's next. It's a pretty aggressive move, and it's got everybody buzzing and asking one simple question. What are they up to now? So what have they actually shown us? Well, the official teasers are pointing to not one, but two new pieces of hardware coming our way. A brand new phone and a new smartwatch to go with it. And we can actually pull together a good bit of info just from these first few teasers. First off, OnePlus has confirmed a name. It's going to be the OnePlus 15R. They've also shown off two colors, a nice olive green and a classic black. We also know for a fact it's going to be running Oxygen OS 16 right out of the gate. But here's a really key detail. So far, these official teaser pages have only popped up on the company's websites in the UK and India. Keep that in mind. Okay, so that's the official stuff, the things we know for sure. Now it's time to play detective, connect a few dots, and really unpack all the leaks and rumors to figure out what this phone is really all about. And that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Is this just going to be a watered-down version of their main flagship, or is there something more going on here? Well, it turns out the answer probably lies in a strategy, a playbook that OnePlus has been using for years. And here it is. This is the key that basically unlocks this whole mystery. The overwhelming consensus from leakers and analysts is that the OnePlus 15R is just a rebranded version of the OnePlus Ace 6, which is a phone that's already out in China. Now, why does this matter? Well, it means we have a pretty darn reliable roadmap for the specs, which takes a whole lot of the guesswork out of the equation for us. So once we make that connection to the A6, the picture of the 15R becomes incredibly clear. We're looking at a phone with a big 6.8-inch display, an absolutely massive battery, and a pretty powerful main camera. I mean, look at that chart. The specs are pretty much a mirror image, which makes this whole rebranding theory feel incredibly likely. Okay, let's just take a second to really appreciate some of these numbers, because they are kind of wild. First up, a 7,800 milliamp hour battery. To put that into perspective, that's not just big, that's enormous. That is top-of-the-line flagship-level capacity. We're talking easy 2-day battery life here, maybe even more. Then you have the display, a 165 Hz refresh rate. That means everything you do, from just scrolling through your feeds to playing intense games, is going to feel buttery smooth and incredibly responsive. This is a spec you usually only find on super expensive dedicated gaming phones. And finally, 120-watt fast charging. So even with that gigantic battery, you're going to be able to juice it up from 0 to 100% in a ridiculously short amount of time. I mean, the combination of just these three features in one phone, that is seriously, seriously impressive. And beyond those huge headline features, the details get even more interesting. Now, there's a little bit of a debate about the chipset. Most sources are pointing to the Snapdragon 8 Elite, but a few have suggested it could even be the Snapdragon 8 Gen 5. Either way, it's a beast. The camera setup looks really solid, and you can expect some configurations to go all the way up to 16 gigs of RAM. But here's a huge potential change. Rumors say they're replacing the classic OnePlus Alert slider with a new Plus key for AI functions. And the camera is expected to use their own Detail Max engine, not the Hasselblad branding we see on the flagships. But hey, remember, the phone wasn't the only thing they teased, right? OnePlus also gave us a quick peek at a new smartwatch. So let's see what we can piece together about this little companion device. Okay, so the info here is a lot more scarce, but we're not totally in the dark. We know the official name is supposed to be revealed pretty soon, with a launch probably in the next couple of months. Now, the strongest bit of speculation, and this is really an educated guess based on the close ties between the companies, is that this will be a rebranded Oppo Watch S. And if that turns out to be true, we could be looking at a really slick, ultra-thin watch with fantastic battery life. All right, so we've gone through all the specs and the theories. Now it's time for the stuff everyone really wants to know. Let's get to the bottom line. How much is it going to cost? When can you get it? And where is it going to be sold? Let's kick things off with a price. The rumored number that's floating around is $599. Now, this is a big deal because it's the exact same price as its predecessor, the 13R. So think about that. Despite all these massive spec bumps, it looks like OnePlus is holding the line on the price. So here's how the rollout is probably going to look. We're in the teaser phase right now. That's November. The launch itself is expected to happen first in India, maybe as early as the second week of December. Then, for North America, if OnePlus sticks to its usual schedule, we're probably looking at a launch sometime in January of next year. And this brings us to a really crucial point, especially for those of you watching in the US or Canada. While those official teaser pages are up and running in the UK and India, they have not appeared for North America yet. Now, this doesn't mean it's not coming, but it does create a little bit of uncertainty, and it strongly suggests that customers here might just have to wait a little bit longer. So, with all this information on the table, let's just zoom out for a second. What does the arrival of a phone like the OnePlus 15R actually mean for the smartphone market as a whole? Where does this thing really fit in? The OnePlus 15R is jumping right into the super competitive space that people like to call budget flagships or mid-range killers. So you've got Google's Pixel A phones, which are all about the camera and clean software. You've got Samsung's FE series, which is focused on being a balanced part of their ecosystem. The OnePlus 15R, on the other hand, seems to be all about one thing, giving you the most raw performance per dollar you can get. It's aiming for that flagship feel, speed, display, battery, but at a mid-range price. And really, that's the headline here, isn't it? The whole promise of the OnePlus 15R seems to be taking those really desirable high-end features from phones that cost $1,000 or more, like that incredible battery and that super smooth display, and making them available to a lot more people. Which, of course, leaves us with one last really fascinating question to think about. See, OnePlus originally built its entire brand on this idea of the flagship killer, a phone that could take on the big guys for a fraction of the cost. So when you see specs like a 165Hz display, a monster 7,800 milliamp hour battery, and a rumored price of just $599, well, you just have to ask, is the original flagship killer spirit officially making a comeback? We'll find out soon enough.